We're here with Hans. He's the roamer for MANDEM. How you doing, Hans?
Very good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So, you come into the LAN, you've literally just arrived. Day 0.
Yeah.
Got some big group stage games tomorrow. How you feeling about the LAN in general? You've come off, are you second seed in the season? Am I correct in saying that? Or did you finish third seed?
I finished second seed.
Okay,
yeah.
so you've had a pretty good season so far. How are you feeling sort of going into this LAN?
We're feeling good. We are feeling confident about the LAN. We think we can take it home.
Take it home? Okay.
Straight to Portugal.
Straight to Portugal. Obviously last LAN you finished third place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, MANDEM, they're sort of known for their you know, you've got the gold medal, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But before that there was a lot of sort of third, fourth places. Obviously the third place here last time. Do you think you can really take it home this time? Are you beating Witness? Are you beating the Frenchies?
We believe we can beat everyone, but not convincingly, but we think we can have close matches and take it home in the end. I think we have the abilities for that.
Okay. Have you heard about the latest ANTICIDE roster?
No.
You haven't heard? Your friend Blank didn't tell you?
No. What's the new ANTICIDE roster?
Okay, well so Blank's obviously moving to Pocket Scout.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
Ryan's over to Pocket.
Okay.
Do you know who their roamer is?
Nah.
Their roamer is Charlie, of former Nunya and CSG fame.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the roster? Is it going to stack up to the pandemic roster of the season?
Nah.
Oh, are we not a fan of Charlie? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, he's not been playing for a while, so I don't expect him. I don't expect great things from Charlie.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, but
okay.
Also not having pandemic. Blank is good, but he's not at the pandemic level just yet, or he's not the pandemic level at all. But
And what about the Ryan onto Pocket? That's a bit of a strange move, isn't it?
Ryan Pocket is good. I think it's really better than his roamer.
Okay.
I prefer. I think he has the abilities to play on Pocket. He's like very vocal. He has good DM. He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is still playing soldier at the end of the day. So I think he's fine. He's better on Pocket.
And you think he's going to have sort of good synergy with Charlie as well?
I don't know. They have two different play styles. It's like the opposite. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say it. You know.
Okay, you're hearing it from Hans himself, from the horse's mouth. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll talk a little bit about your team, a little bit. Obviously, you've got what some would regard as the rising stars of the new generation. You know, you've had the Witnesses. They've been around for a while, and you guys are sort of kind of coming through. You're pushing. You're making. You've got players like Zams. You've got Rons. These are starting to become some bigger names.
Yeah.
Who do you think's the most underrated player on your team?
Zams for sure.
Yeah.
Zams is the most underrated player in our team, like by a mile. He's insane. He's very good.
And obviously he's come in to replace Fancy Elf himself.
Yeah.
You know, some people call Fancy a cheater. Do you think that Zams really stacks up well against Fancy? Do you reckon is he replaceable?
I mean, everyone's replaceable. You just gotta play around the replacements. You know, you gotta adjust our game plan, our game style to the players that we have. So if you have Fancy, we can like play a bit more forward because we know he's doing crazy damage. If you have Zams, you know, he's still doing damage, but we can like play a bit further back. You know, it's like that.
If I was to take you into a hypothetical world for a moment, where from your last season where you had Lardox and Fancy, would you rather take the Zams switch, where you remove Fancy and get Zams, or would you rather take the Rons switch instead of Lardox? Who would you rather replace and have coming new into the team?
I mean, I'd rather not replace anyone and keep all 6 of us.
I'm not accepting that as an answer, Hans. I'm not accepting that.
I gotta say, replacement Zams for Fancy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We can't. I think the other way around. We can't have Rons and Fancy on the same team. It's like two very vocal players, like players that call crazy damage. Like they don't stop speaking.
Okay.
Like, it's gonna be a mess.
Okay. And to dive into a little bit more of that sort of juicy bit, who would you rather have micromanaging you on the team? Let's say you have 30 minutes of process, right?
Yeah.
Rons, 30 minutes of micromanaging, just telling you every second, Hans, I want you doing this, I want you doing that. Or June?
June.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Rons will be saying like, Hans, go in. What are you doing, Hans? Go in.
Is that a French accent? That's not racially charged, is it?
No.
No, okay, that's very impressive. Fantastic. Cool. And, you know, we'll finish up with a few sort of stats-based questions. Who do you think is going to have the stellar MVP performance of the LAN? You know, from any team, you know, and maybe let's try and stay away from the witness players. Everyone at the moment is going for witness.
I wasn't going for a witness player.
Oh, okay.
I was going for either Rons, because his 5 ping is at LAN, he's going to get hyped. Rons, Mac, or Boulder, or Zans.
Mac?
Yeah. It's LAN.
Mac or Yak?
No, Mac.
Yak. You're saying Yak,
Mac.
right?
M-A-K.
M-A-K, Mac. Okay, fantastic. Cool. And we'll finish off. I've been asking everyone, of course. Where are you going to place at LAN odds?
First.
That's all there has to be said, guys.
Welcome back to the couch. Welcome back. It is I, Toro Tabs, and I've got 2 new prey here onto the couch. They very kindly have borrowed themselves to me here on the analyst desk, and obviously I welcome ALX from Team Samakot and Roticher. I do hope I'm saying that right, sir, but I'll try my best here. ALX, we'll start with you. First off, I've got a general question. You got a rebranding going along.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, you know. It's I'm not gonna get into the details on the stream, like why I even went with the name that I did with Derpy Hooves, but I always had this idea, like from day one, like if I ever go to Lando, I gotta fucking change. I gotta change it, you know. I don't want to be, introducing myself as Derpy Hooves. So I mean, my name was always like ALX. So it was mostly an offy thing. I had to use it then.
Fair enough. Roticher, how is your LAN going, sir? You're enjoying LANs? Do LAN games just hit different compared to online?
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit more pressure for me because it's my first time, but it's going pretty well. For me, I'm kind of learning how the atmosphere is like, and I think it's really nice overall over here. I'm having a great time, honestly, even though I've won 1 game and lost 1, but I think it's still pretty decent. I really like the experience.
Magical. Now, obviously, I'm going to borrow your Prem brains here, guys. Obviously, I've got a game coming up, ANTICIDE versus MANDEM. You've played against them in the regular season. ALX, if you take the mic away from Roticher and you just tell me, what can we expect in a game like ANTICIDE versus MANDEM? Now, keep in mind, ANTICIDE have switched around all their players and all that.
Yeah, I definitely would trust MANDEM to win this game more than ANTICIDE, but of course it's not an impossibility for ANTICIDE to win. Like, the roster changes, of course, are a major negative factor for them, I would imagine. And yeah, I have a hard time imagining them winning, but anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Roticher, is there anything that you could bring out a bit? I don't know. Is there any sort of chaos theory you could play off when you've got a Merc or anything like that in these sort of situations, or do they just? I don't know. Is it kind of written that this is going to be MANDEM all the way?
Well, they play behind us, and I've been watching them play against Detour. Even though they lost, I think they did play pretty well. Charlie is stepping in as soldier, and I think he's playing pretty decent, honestly. And I know Blank is now on Scout. He hasn't played Scout in a while, but I still think it's pretty good. So really, it could be that MANDEM might have a slight edge, but I think it will be a very slow game overall, and it could go either way with some chaos maybe. But I'm looking forward to it, at least.
Magical. Now, ALX, is there such thing as being too cocky in the game of TF2? Do you think MANDEM might look at this game and write it off, or do you think they're still going to take it quite seriously here?
I would imagine that they're taking it very seriously. I don't think that people on ANTICIDE are anything to scoff at when it comes to being able to beat them quite handily. They will have to play their best, and if they don't, then I do think that they will lose.
Now, I'm told that none of the players are here just yet. We took a little break, obviously, and we're still in our round 4, but I don't have any player butts in seats. They're arriving, trickling in, but we don't want to keep you guys here locked in the couch forever. So I just want you to finish off. Is there any sort of particular player that you've come back to this LAN and you've met and you're like, wow, it was really nice meeting this certain person, or maybe a certain team or anything like that? How about you, ALX? Any special person out there that's made an impression on you this LAN?
Oh, to be honest, Connor's been doing a great job. I had an experience playing with him in Div 1 back in the day. And to be honest, I was slightly surprised when he even reminded me of it when we first did a short-term interview. And I think he's been doing a great job handling more of the production side this LAN.
Brilliant. And what about you, Roticher? Has anybody had an impression on you so far? You're like, wow, this guy, this person.
Well, I think everyone's been really great, but I could especially say like Eon, for example. I think he's been a really nice guy to be around, and so has like Mac and Puggles, Sale, and all the other Swedes that came with me on this trip. We flew together, so we had a really good time, just chatting all away the day.
This warms my heart. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the couch and give me a little insight to ANTICIDE and MANDEM. We're going to throw it over to a little break, see if we can find those players that are on the loose, and then we'll come back onto the couch and we'll do our coverage of round 4. See you then.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're joined once again by me, not Stephen, and Ben picks lettuce for fun. How are you doing? Ben, it's been a couple of hours now. We've had some banger games coming through here, and now we have another one coming up, MANDEM versus ANTICIDE. What are your thoughts?
It should be a good one, and obviously there's been a lot of close games so far on stream, and I think on paper, if you like, this could be one of them. I'm still not entirely sold though on this ANTICIDE roster. We saw them lose to DTR earlier today, which is a game I think most people had them down as winning. But maybe I guess Charlie's warming back into things, so there's that to play on.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that Charlie hadn't played since December,
Oh, yeah,
so it's
mad, isn't
maybe
it?
not, you know, your number one choice here. But, you know, they've got to fill in. They've got to get something happening. Obviously, they are missing their main pocket scout, Pandemic, who a lot of people would say is kind of their carry player, their best player. He's just been super solid for the past couple of seasons and has looked the same during the season itself here. And to, you know, have to mix this roster up so much, putting Blank back on Scout. I can't remember the last time I saw him on Scout. He's got shoes to fill. That's the least I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the pick bands on screen so far. We can't not too much to say about talking through all of it, but all we do know is that we'll be ending up on Sunshine for this game. What do we think about maybe how does this play into the teams? I guess maybe with Ryan and Charlie and kind of a new Soldiers duo. Do you think Sunshine's a good map for that?
I think it's a map where there's a lot of standard mids and there's stuff that you know, you kind of understand from just playing the game like a decent amount, and I think that will be good for them. I think they want to go for standardization. Just those set plays, I think, will be what's best for ANTICIDE, because they did play Granary before, and I feel like a lot of teams like to play Granary a little bit differently, and I don't think that actually favored ANTICIDE a lot, and we could see in that ban that they've actually banned Granary out straight away, which I think was a good idea. I think Sunshine slows things down. It's a bit more of a pug map, so I think that'll help Charlie a little bit here, and hopefully just warming up and playing a little bit more, you know, brings ANTICIDE back to a bit more of a form we'd expect, because, you know, this MANDEM team, they've been playing pretty well so far.
Yeah, I was honestly coming into this tournament, I think MANDEM was the team I was maybe most excited to see, because we haven't really seen this combo of players, like even since they burst onto the scene back like 2 years ago when they beat Witness in that group stage game in TF2. Like, they haven't really had a proper LAN showing since then. They played in Poland last year with 3 Mercs.
Yeah.
Didn't go to Uberfest. They weren't to I-Series New the year as well. Like, this is the first time that we've had, like, you know, Boulder, Juve, had like the whole gang just like here together.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it makes a big difference. So they've been able to play this whole season as well, right? It's not like a weird mix where, oh, it's half the players, it's half not. It's they've had the whole season. They've been playing pretty decently well so far, so I think there are some big expectations here. But enough of the tournament. Time for the tournament as we are going into this game. It is going to be MANDEM on the blue side here, ANTICIDE on the red. Why don't you take us away into our first mid, Ben?
Yeah, we'll see what they've got brewing here for Sunshine. Seems like both sides just rolling out to Valley so far. Going to maybe see some clockwise spiraling on this mid, unless the Soldiers have something to say about it. Bit of spam underneath from Hugie, but it's the Soldiers over from MANDEM, the first ones to take action, the first ones to bomb across, and the first ones to get that kill onto the red Demo Man.
Yeah, Hugie were just putting spam under there and was caught out by a Soldier bombing round here. However, both teams stabilized a little bit. The space and positioning looking a lot better for MANDEM here. They are a player down, but the health is just so good, it might as well not matter. But Haunts coming in, takes down Theo, so that's no medic for ANTICIDE.
So few players left though on MANDEM, it's potentially scary. And a player in behind too, I believe, if the X-ray is not going to deceive me here. They might be getting cut off. It is Hugie the Spawner, going to come in, do a lot of damage over towards the combo. But they're living for now. They're trying to get away. Lots of damage taken by Zams, but the Spawners will dry up eventually for ANTICIDE. They're going to have to chill this one out, and they're going to have to cope with the fact that they are going to be at a massive, massive disadvantage.
This is such an awkward place to be, right? You're stuck on their
Oh, they're
second,
still
you have
good.
spawners coming out, and somehow June doesn't use. Just dodging and diving, stickies coming in, rockets, everything, everywhere, and keeping this huge advantage for the side of MANDEM. You can't play it much better, and I love saying this, but June is such a solid medic, so good overall, and just plays so well with borders. Zam's going down there makes things a little more difficult, as they are still capturing up that point. They're kind of forced to stay in here, but it might not be the worst thing in the world, as they can just try to slowly take this space, and point is capped on second now. Uber used out straight away. It's onto these scouts and soldiers, straight into these spawns. No one can get on point. There's a lot of stickies. They are finally cleared here. Boulder getting a first pick onto Ryan, but the heavy pushing out is going to make things infinitely more difficult.
And Theos is getting Uber as well. This push might have to get called off, and honestly, we see this quite a lot in these games where you kind of win mid almost too much, right? You have all your players up, you're looking to walk into last, but you haven't capped the middle point, and we saw Zam's walking in. Zam's getting caught before the Uber could be used, and to be quite honest, MANDEM really didn't want to use that Uber because they hadn't even capped mid, never mind second. And eventually, no demo in the Uber, ANTICIDE able to weather the storm and get themselves back in the game with a big Uber ad of their own, already taking space over towards mid, already perhaps looking even further forward too, because June's going to be waiting quite a while before her Uber is ready to pop.
Yeah, only 60% on the Uber charge here, and they like playing this passive. They're playing it safe, not trying to send too many players in, but they are sending a bit of contest into Valley, and it's going well as they get the force. That should be that soldier who's gone behind dying here of Ron. However, he's still somehow alive. They're getting Uber here. Do they want to go for something a bit cheeky?
They're going for it. The Uber charge used in from the battlements,
early.
trying to catch some of these retreating players. Yuji goes down as a big kill over onto ANTICIDE's demo man, and that means less spam. That means more space to walk forward into, and it's space they're happy to take until Blank and Charlie managed to double up on a couple of kills, but the all-important one comes in at the end. Haunts bombs in, gets the kill onto Theos. Menix last alive, just going to have to run to the hills. Not too much chance of survival there for the 20 HP scout, and mission success for MANDEM.
Yeah, it was a nice push. I was a little worried that Uber wasn't going to get too much. Everyone was playing kind of passive there on the side of ANTICIDE. However, getting that pick onto Hugie kind of let things just kind of spiral out of control. We did lose Zams during it a little bit, and that was a bit concerning, but they clean up well here. Is Charlie in forward spawn?
Yeah,
a constant threat.
Trapped off, and yeah, here's the sticky's been placed and thinks, you know what, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm just going to chill all the way back and just try and help my team face this Uber disadvantage hold. Theos on the crit streak, maybe going to be a factor currently at 50%. Going to have to be building that one pretty quickly because June and the gang look ready to pop in.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they're just going to take it in on this right-hand side here, get their flank into this left as well. This is a really good collapse straight onto that left-hand side here, and they are just bleeding up hills. Haunt's the only one to go down. Surely this barrage of players just easily takes the point, and that's absolutely what happened. MANDEM coming up with a first round, and they looked really, really solid in that push. That was like textbook last push.
It's so good. It's like watching just a well-oiled machine, right, pushing in. Obviously, they played so long together with such quality of players. When it's so clean like that, it's I don't know, it's a joy to watch. And MANDEM, they've been on top for the first 5 minutes, finally got around to show for it. ANTICIDE, they've had moments, but they're going to have to turn things around in this game if they are to get anything from it.
Yeah, we'll see if they change anything up in this second round. They are just going Valley on both sides, so should be doing that rotate that you mentioned before. One soldier is in already here, and here comes the second one, trying to get onto Theos. He's taking down to 18 health, but can find the pack here. Surely this is Hugie going down, and absolutely is. Rons comes in and collapses as well, and now it's looking good once again for that MANDEM side. Cleanly winning that, only losing your soldiers. You won't complain about that. There is still Ryan and Menix, though. Could be a bit of a menace.
Menix behind, threatening to get onto this cap, but it seems like MANDEM are just completely aware, right? Like, they've got Boulder tanked up capping point at 185 health, and Menix just isn't really fancying that fight. Maybe fancies the fights against the soldiers, maybe can try and delay something, but there's only ×5 on second point. Theos has only just spawned in. We're talking 90% Uber ad here. And even the Menix is like trying to pistol spam, trying to be annoying on the way back. I think this is just one player down for the last hold.
Yeah, it might as well be. These soldiers are already trying to, just get past him, make him a non-issue, and now they just want to kind of get held up in lobby and just take this in because they don't have Uber. They're only on 50%, taking this left-hand side early, but Menix is being a thorn in their back. Soldiers clear that up, and the Uber has been used onto last here. They get the sentry gun down instantly, pick onto Charlie slightly out of position here, and now they can just kind of slow things down. They have so many players in advantage that they should just be able to roll things over. And once again, It's a fabulous last push, isn't it? Wow.
It's so good. Last time we saw them go for the early captain. This time they just go for the frags, and it's all well and good. Yes, they ANTICIDE hang on to the point for like the first 15 seconds of the hole, but they've lost 3 players for it. So MANDEM clean as ever, even though it was a slightly different style of last push. And 2-0 in 6 minutes. Are we in for a quick one here?
I hope not. I think they have something in the tank here on ANTICIDE, but I think they need to start playing more aggressive as well on these mids, because MANDEM are just kind of allowed to be getting in and do what they want and getting onto Fios quite easily, it feels like, with like not too much contention. So I think they need to bring some chaos and at least get the medic on either side. But it looks like they're more likely to meet this time. Soldiers are double bombing straight away. There's a fight under. Menix wins it. That's a good start of things. And actually the positioning is looking really good for ANTICIDE.
Yeah, Menix does a whole lot of damage, getting the kill to Zams, also taking a Haunt's Riku. His Julie cleaned up, and June is on the back foot, almost at the point of getting her first death of the game, but just about lives with Boulder in tow to try and build up some Uber. But we can see already, ANTICIDE, they're keen, they're capping up mid, they're already taking second as well, locking out these potential players, and we might be spending a bit of time at this blue last point because ANTICIDE look like they're getting ready to get the clamp on, but MANDEM, they decide, no, what, wait a minute, we can fight second.
Goes in, gets the force.
Oh, what?
Just walks in from lower left, no one's there to contest, gets out as well. And look, they can fight this now for free. Haunts does go down, there's a soldier in. Can they get the force onto June? They cannot there. Blank unable to. Sorry, Charlie unable to.
Oh, great attempt on the sack there, but it was actually Inzo's sack that wanted to do the damage there. And they reap the rewards, the MANDEM. And we saw the interviews earlier with what Condawg was saying. Inzo was the one to watch when Boulder was interviewed for MANDEM. Inzo already popping off quite big in this first game, and still a big advantage. Menix post back on the sniper. As midpoint's capped up, we're still talking 60% advantage. Second point might be free here, unless ANTICIDE have some heroics.
Yeah, I mean, there's always... Oh, I was going to say there's a sniper to worry about, but they've switched off now. There's a soldier to worry about. He does force the Uber. Nice job by Ryan, and he will manage to survive that. So actually, this Uber's not so crazy.
How do you live?
Haunts nearly going down for it as well. So good job not overextended from MANDEM. Charlie is apparently in behind here.
These soldiers are doing great.
They get 2.
They get 2 kills and the force. Yes, second point is given up, but for how long? Charlie currently just trying to spam at these scouts, trying to claim some space, and they're just going to call it. The 2 soldiers say, look, we've cleared it completely. You can all walk forward, we can take the ground, dig our trenches up on the second point, and maybe even look forwards, because again, now the advantage has flipped over completely. MANDEM the ones in disadvantage, and ANTICIDE the ones trying to walk in.
Nice shot by Haunts in that forward spawn to get a soldier. That makes things a lot more difficult. Oh, and nearly an air shot by Ron's there, manages to take down Charlie, so... You know, it's kind of the opposite of what we saw on second there. They managed to get 2 picks and straight away onto these soldiers. They go down, just makes so much more space. And look at this, Zoe already pressuring to try to get in, try to find some space, try to find an opening, to try to get this force or to try to just bust it. And it looks like they might just get to walk in for free, but you think you could just kind of try to use the Uber in here, but I think they think it's maybe closer than it actually is. They do eventually use.
Yeah, they do use. Are they going to get onto June, though? June just finally have to use the Uber on the back of the point, but it's a better Uber in the blue for MANDEM. They're going to try and walk forward, try and cut off who they can here from the ANTICIDE team, and it's all about this post fight, all about this collapse. Lots of low players on both of these teams, but MANDEM the ones coming off worse for wear, and they're the ones having to back up. Inzo's got it in behind, spotted out in the dungeon. And in the meantime, MANDEM, they've all given up. They're all back on mid, and they're all just trying to recoup their losses, because that was a really, really nice post fight there from ANTICIDE.
Yeah, I think they stayed a bit more aggressive than they were maybe anticipating that. I think they thought they would leave. Did MANDEM onto ANTICIDE, but they stayed in. However, instantly just getting free picks somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you just come in and you kill everything, and it's all good. Zam's in deep as well, trying to find some spam onto his medic. Does make Fios have to leave, and hugely dies.
Gets out alive, and that's all that really matters now for ANTICIDE, because they're going to have to get themselves set up and prepared for a potential long haul here on their own last point. They're just getting Angie up now, actually, over on Blank. Got Menix over on their heavy. Blank was a sniper for a moment, maybe expecting some early aggression, but we might be in for the long haul now. It was Runs gets ready to peek in. Maybe they're going to have any other sorts of players, but actually, it's not the soldiers we're looking at. It is the spy on Inzo.
Yeah, I think what you go for here is just the sap and stab. Sap and sack. So you're just going to send your spy to sap the gun, right? Because it's so hard to get in without it. And then you're just going to sack a player in. Your spy's going to say, here's the medic. Rons, get in, do your work. And we'll see if that happens. But this is actually a good
It depends where
opportunity
Theos is
for
playing.
a stab straight up. He might not even have to sack.
Yeah, it depends where Theos is playing. There's so many different spots you can use here on this last point. We're going to get a Demo Man instead. That's a really important kill there from Inzo. And now there's potential space to walk forward into no traps anywhere. No traps in the point. Now is the golden opportunity for any other MANDEM players to get in should they want to do so. They're busting into the left-hand side. Big spam across. Theo's taking a bit of flak so far. Blank weak as well. Medic's taking spam too. And the gun is the only casualty so far. Lots of weak players. Hugely going to be spawning back in now. But the space being MANDEM has been taken so well. Horns bombing in. And that's what bombing into a gun of the Pyro does. You get deleted. Good effort from Horns. But eventually, this stab on the demo is going to come to nothing. And it might be even worse because now Boulder and June, they're running away.
Yeah, it's put them on the back foot straight away, hasn't it? They just have to back all the way out to this patio area. However, I feel like this is when Boulder might want to just take the trade. He knows his spawners are coming up at a good time here. If they block, it's actually really, really solid for them. And they do eventually use, but it feels more like a force. Ryan does go down, but they trade straight away for Ron, so it's a 1-for-1. Uber so much better here for Anticide.
Yeah, it gets the Ubers out of the way, which might give them a bit more time here on mid. But otherwise, if they're able to get to the flank using 2 players here, both soldiers, makes actually potentially even easier now for Anticide to work their way through. Already in through Valley, already trying to hit the height on the bell, already just clustering around, and they don't even want to go for anything too aggressive. They just want to walk forward as the blob, and the blob engulfs all here, and it certainly engulfs the middle point because Anticide, they are looking pretty good.
Yeah, good continuation of the aggression there. They played the flow really, really well and just kind of kept going with that damage, the slightly better Uber. They didn't have too much to go on, but managed to convert it really well. But now they literally have nothing to go on. It's going to be even Ubers. All the players are up for both teams, so it's sack o'clock if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, absolutely for sure. It's there's plenty of options here into Sunshine. A lot of it normally involves getting some kind of presence over towards Valley, so I'll be interested to see what Anticide do regarding that. Currently, it's just the classic Huge just firing single sticks over this little fence, trying to tag any damage possible over onto June. But we might be seeing some rotation over towards Valley now. Maybe this is the chance we could see a sack.
Yeah, soldiers are getting aggressive up to this high ground area. Here comes the sack in. It should be Charlie. Instantly deleted. No chance of really getting too much. I think maybe just wanted to get onto any player, open things up a little bit. But now the aggression coming straight back out from the MANDEM side. Look how many players they've got in absolutely everywhere. Soldiers bombing straight in. Everyone's so
the damage.
Low. 6 health, 20 health.
What?
Uber force, huge plays by the MANDEM side. And Uber in should be better here. They need to clean up these last couple players. Sam's double piping. Menex, he could not do anything here. Cleaning up house are the side of MANDEM. Bronze tries to get on Fios, and it is Inter actually cleaning up his damage here. So this is looking like a really, really good opportunity for MANDEM to clinch a 3rd round.
That was such a fantastic re-aggression off the back of one soldier sacking in. They're able to get through, get a ton of damage, get the force, and what's even worse for Anticide is that after the Uber had faded in the force, look at all their players. There's nobody in 3-digit health after an Uber, which is always going to be catastrophic. And in the end, it works out in the worst way possible for Theos as he is caught trying to retreat out from Choke. That kill onto the soldier might be something here for Menex, who's going to try and wander forward, but oh, this is a bit okay. Lives those. I thought he was doomed.
Yeah, it's a little bit lucky. Wanted to go for a hero shot there and nearly got absolutely destroyed. Charlie just gets in AFK.
What?
Oh. Horns left the team here. He's cheating. He's long in the respawn queue though, so I don't think it matters too much. But losing 2 there, do you go in?
Yeah, did something happen there? Because I saw Inzo was stationary as well. I guess we'll have to find out afterwards because for the moment, it's all eyes on this pressure towards June and all eyes on the soldier bomb. But again, Charlie not able to find anything, just that one rocket, and it takes a lot more than one 70 damage rocket to force a medic like June. So we'll see now MANDEM getting ready for their own sack. One soldier down for the moment, might give a bit of room on this far left-hand side as the scouts, Inzo Boulder, trying to peek in. But now they've got oh, never mind, soldiers in.
Yeah, huge bomb in from lower there. Managed to get the force onto Fios there. They do lose free for it, so it's an opportunity if you are the side of Anticide to try to get in here. You'd want to try to get something. They've still got blank on the engineer, which makes you think maybe they don't want to do it. No, Menex straight back up on the sniper. They are just going to reset things. I kind of want them to try to push here, to be honest. I know it's really hard, especially on this point, because you can just kite it so far back, then take a good Uber in when the spawners come in. But you're 2 rounds down. I guess it's 15 minutes to go, but you're just in such a bad position here. And like, you've not really been able to get too much going. I think you want to try to take these opportunities.
And the worst bit is as well, like, we've seen how clean MANDEM's Uberad pushes have
Yeah.
been so far, right? Obviously, there is time for me to curse that in the classic Caster's Curse fashion, because now we have a push coming in, going in a bit of an unorthodox spot there in front of the barrels. They haven't seen that one before, but the heavy getting caught in the spawn door means something. But actually, June, Boulder, both falling. The crit, the crit shotgun doing a good deal of damage, but it might not be enough now, as only the medic alive, and that's not for much longer, because MANDEM go up 3-0.
Yeah, they are kind of running away with this one. We thought maybe it'd be a little bit closer, but MANDEM just looking like that strong coordinated team that you would expect when they haven't had to really change anything up from the regular season. They've been looking super, super solid so far, just taking these tiny, tiny advantages and making them work. Even when like their core goes down of that medic and scout, they seem to still be, coming out and coordinating onto the right people at the right times. And it's just worked out so well for them. But we'll see what they can do on this 4th mid here, Ben.
Absolutely. We saw last time it was all basically hinging on medics going in and killing everything. And this time it might be Ron's taking up that mantle, as there's no waiting around, there's no messing, no rotating of any of that nonsense. It is Theos down in the first 2 seconds of the mid, hasn't even left Valley. And now they try and stay in, they try and fight as best as they can, caught all over the place. And now, will June be able to get out alive? Will these last couple of low HP players be able to do the heroics? June taken very, very weak actually, down to 20 HP. She might be in a bit of a rough situation, but ANTICIDE eventually not having heals is going to come back to haunt them, and there we are. Looks like the wave of aggression, apart from that one final scout in Menex, is gone, and there we are. Last player falls. MANDEM again. They're just so good on these mids.
Yeah, they did a super, super good job of, as soon as they got that pick, just playing around June, right? They were just huddled up, every single person around June and Choke. She got taken down low. It was a little bit scary at one point, but eventually you just clean up those players. They had really good eyes on every single door, not letting anyone get in for free. And yeah, they just played it solid. Kept their medic alive, and now they get to have another last push. And have they failed one yet?
Not yet. But of course, Caster's Curse, there is potentially a lot of chance for that to come through. As we see them drooping up, it might be something coming up from the top right, and there we are. The Uber is in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it around the back at this point. Everyone jumps to the left-hand side, and that's exactly where they rotate to. It's only a scout and demo man coming out. The medic does eventually follow, but they've already got 2 picks, but it's only for 1 player as well here. This second soldier coming in gets the Uber force, but I don't know how much the rest of this team was expecting it. And they were kind of just playing around in that lobby area, but the Uber is fading, and the chariot is coming back in on the side of MANDEM. They want to fight this. The spawners are up.
Can we hold this up a second? We're on Boulder's POV here. Is Boulder going 24-2? What?
That just happens sometimes. What can you say? It's just Boulder diff.
I don't know. That's mad. Maybe Boulder was being nice in the interview, saying it was Inzo we should be watching out for, because Boulder is on an absolute tear. The immovable rock here for MANDEM. But it wasn't enough in that push, and they have earned themselves another advantage attempt in. Theos not far away from Uber himself. Gun taken down, but a sniper shot rings true over onto Haunt. Uber charge not used yet from MANDEM. June taken a bit weak, Zam's taken a bit weak too. And now Theos is to be trying to bunker down, maybe use this Uber back in. It's all down to the wire here.
Yeah, 95% here on Theos. He should be getting, they don't want to play super aggressively. I'm surprised about this. I think maybe they thought they had Uber Ron's just kind of sacks for the point to try to get something going, but they're unable to. Losing 2 for that means they have to bank out. But Blank here, he's in behind. He has eyes on this medic, gets the 4th. That first shot, June knew that she was surely going to die. However, the force is on both sides here, and as things settle, it's not looking too bad here for the MANDEM side, as they're picking up a sniper. They're going to go for something a little bit different. I kind of feel what they've been doing has been working, though. I don't know if they necessarily had to change anything. I think if they maybe play that a little more aggressive, like, I don't think they knew. Essentially, I'm trying to say, I don't think they knew Theos didn't have Uber. And
I
it
think
was only 80%. And if they did, I think they would have just taken that.
I think the building might have not been at optimal from ANTICIDE, right? Because I remember when they used it originally, I reckon it should have only been about 5 to 10 seconds of ad, but actually it was more like 15 to 20 by the time the push came through. But it's respectable, MANDEM. They didn't overcommit, they didn't barrel in and lose everything. They're 3 rounds up. It's not them that really have to be going for those kinds of aggressive plays, as now they're just taking it slow, sacked in 1 soldier, not able to find any kind of sightline here for Inzo, as they're just going to chill it out. Right, this timer can tick down, and Yeah, blank. The Pyro taken down.
That's a really good pick, though, right? Like, you think about this last hold, and when they're holding with Pyro top right, you just can't get in with it, right? But now that the Pyro is down, I think this is the opportunity they need to be taking to try to get the gun down, but they are taking a lot of spam here. Zam's taken down to just 40 HP there, with just one small rocket away. Menek's doing a great job of just helping out his building, keeping it up here. And unfortunately, the MANDEM not able to really capitalize on that Pyro being down in the end of things.
Yeah, and again, like I say, there's 1 minute 40 in this round timer. Like, they can wait a little bit longer if they want. And with a sniper, you kind of have to take things pretty slow. You have to wait for your golden moment. And that might just be it. What a flick that was there from Inzo. And now a soldier's falling as well. And the House of Cards might come tumbling down now for the remaining ANTICIDE players. Look at the health on those red players. It's madness. Inzo doesn't miss either. Theos falls, and this is going to be round number 4 for MANDEM. They are on a roll.
I mean, it helps if, you know, you just hit crazy headshots like that from Inzo there. Getting that headshot onto that demo man just absolutely opened up that last point for them. It just allows you to take left-hand side, right? Once the demo goes down, it's just so hard.
That flick, though, is crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, I know we're getting the stream feed, so like, that felt literally like it was 0.3 seconds or something. The head was on the screen.
When you watch CSGO in the AWP, just like flick and you'd never even see them as that.
No, it was amazing. Inzo, what a shot. And the shot to Theos too. But the demo was the one that really opened up the batting. And now it's a bit of a mountain to climb for the ANTICIDE team. They're going to try, they're going to have a go. But 4 rounds in 7 minutes might be a bit too much to ask for them. But they still give it their best here on this mid-fight, going at 2 for 1 so far with a bit of a rotation, getting a little bit dicey here for MANDEM. But they're managing to solidify.
Yeah, with no soldiers, though, during that fight, it was just so hard to really get anything going. Obviously, they get June, but there's just so many more players up. It's going to be so hard to win. And Menex goes down. I think that might be all she wrote. I was just watching the health of, like, Charlie and Ryan during that. And it just went from like 200 to like 0 in half a second. I was like, okay. It was that kind of mid where your soldiers just get absolutely decimated. Scouts on anti-air duty. And yeah, unfortunately, they are not able to win that one out. And once again, it's MANDEM in the driver's seat. And they have lights just constantly going for this. Luckily, they did keep their medic alive on field, so they will have a chance to take an uber advantage out here. But traps and get Ryan straight away. Zam's taking down Theos to half health. He's so low. 20 health has to use here. And look, everyone is so far out.
That's not a good use, though. Like, if they were going to use there, they see they're taking spam. They, at some point, you just have to accept defeat and just think we're going to walk forward and try and get value out of this force. But they fell back so far. Had to use anyway on 20 HP. And that Uber gets, well, less than nothing, because Menix is down now, and MANDEM with another advantage into last. They don't quite have Uber yet, and they aren't going to be waiting around because they want an even bigger ad as they're trying to bomb in onto Theos already. They're sending Zams into. They're having a bit of fun with things. They're really going for it on MANDEM. But maybe that was a bit too aggressive.
Yeah, going full monkey mode there. Zam's getting in on that sack as well. That doesn't really even mean too much in the end of things. But yeah, I think as you said, it's just a bit of fun here, but you kind of don't want to get into this troll mode, right? Where you're like kind of now, or you could throw away around.
There's 3 more rounds in this game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
After this.
You can absolutely get 3 rounds in this and bring it close, even if you can't technically win this out of time. You know, it brings a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I was hoping they've got rounds to play after this game, right? You don't want to have to reset back to like serious mode straight afterwards. You've got to, both these teams have to keep playing at their most professional level. And that seems like what we're getting so far. ANTICIDE taking control of mid, 2 for 2 in terms of frags, but in terms of Uber, it's a very, very different story, right? Like the Uber charge is ready now for Theos. They're going to look to walk forward. There's traps to clear in both Choke and Valley, but this is a really pushable opportunity. Ryan's down, yes, there's no pocket soldier, but like Inzo's down on the other side. The Uber charge is so advantageous. They really want to go.
Whoa! Horns absolutely destroyed their red like an absolute book. Uber comes out, but they're going to get so many picks with this. This is such a worth Uber use. Charlie coming in, doing big damage on this left-hand side. And now they can just start to get things rolling, sending in players up this top right area. Had nice climb onto the scout once again here, but Soldier gets in. Bronze! So much damage.
Massive from Rons as demos are down from either side, but Uber charge advantage sitting firmly in MANDEM's core. On their own last, though, it's maybe not ideal for pushing out. There's 4 minutes left to play. They might just be thinking, you know what, there's 4 minutes left. We'll just chill this. We're 4 rounds up.
I don't think so.
Oh, never mind. Okay, forget what I said. They want to walk out. They want to kill everything.
Yeah, Zam's going down once again there, but taking 2 with them. It's Ryan and Charlie losing out their lives once more, and it's a rest of ANTICIDE just having to leave out. Menix maybe looking to go for something in behind here, but the Uber comes straight in from MANDEM, chasing into the valley area here. We'll see if they can get anything. Menix taken down low. Fios does go down. They should be getting QG as well. These are huge picks. Soldiers coming in before. Big shot by Ryan. Nice headshot onto him. And now the rest of the collapse on ANTICIDE comes in. It's a 1v4 here. Zams, my friend, I do not think you are winning this one. So nice recollapse there, getting the soldiers in behind. It was a good Uber from MANDEM, but a better recollapse from ANTICIDE.
I thought that was disastrous as soon as I saw Theos was at like 85% and that fight comes in. I thought it was maybe over, but Ryan, how many kills did Ryan get? It was at least 3, was it 4?
I think it was 3 there, yeah.
It was either 3 or 4, and that
hey, at least one
recollapse.
was an air shot, so
Nah,
that's all that matters.
That was massive from Ryan.
Still
and now we're
got some fight in them. This ANTICIDE side, they still got some fight in them. They've still got a little bit going. They do have the even Ubers actually here going into this, but you're going to have to go into an even Uber, full setup, heavy, engineer. We're probably going to switch this heavy out to a sniper eventually. It just makes things so hard here, and I think this MANDEM side are going to want to deny them a round, however possible.
It's all on ANTICIDE. They're going to try and go for something. A 4-1 looks a heck of a lot better than a 4-0 as they're trying to burst their way in through left. There's traps called, and traps dropped straight into the face of Blank. A bit of a scary jump scare there for the pocket scout of ANTICIDE, who is duly deleted regardless. But this is getting a little bit scrappy here on this side, losing a couple of players in the defense. Boulder and Roms both going down. But I mean, maybe there's a chance to walk this.
Sentry gun as well, perfect sack opportunity. No one looking at Charlie. In he goes, gets a force instantly onto June. Gets the cheeky headshot that does no damage, just for the swag of it, you know. He just wants to feel himself, and you know, getting a lot of their players out as well here allows things just to instantly get set up. It's Menix straight onto last, loads of cap time. They use the Uber, but look, everyone has to come cratering in here, and he can just clean up shot, but it's actually not going as well as they would have hoped here. Zams is so low, they need to get this kill. He gets arrowed up here, Blank on point, gets the round. ANTICIDE with some life in them. Someone gave these men a little bit of CPR, and they are back alive once again. Lovely pipes coming out from QG.
I don't know, the one thing like I've seen Huge is obviously new to demo this season, right? And well, I say newish, obviously not brand new to demo, but it's the first season I believe for Huge in Prem as demo, right? And the mechanics like Huge has shown like all season long has been great. Yes, the downside is he's getting quite opposition a bit, but like every now and then he just hits shots like that and you think, damn, this guy is the real deal when it comes to at least the mechanics of the demo man class. 1 minute 30 left. I guess there's time for one more round if something's very, very quick. But at least ANTICIDE have got a round to show for it. They've got their consolation prize at the end of this one.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to do. Instant bombs coming in from Ryan. Somehow manages to get into as well. And then the follow-up is so good from Charlie here. Oh, hit it. No. Right, that's the rust on him, isn't it? Blimey.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Hans has already left.
Yeah,
Hans back in.
Yeah, Hans wants to go for food quickly, you know, feeling a bit hungry after this one.
He just wants to spawn back up.
There we are.
And now it looks like we're basically in garbage time here. They're just a huge in on last here.
Nope, no scopes, not going.
Trying to get in, so can't quite get him. It was a little bit scarily close though.
Yeah, it was a good effort. It was a good effort. There is actually time for another round here, like
they
for
gotta
sure.
do it then.
There's full Uber ad. They could wait for Hugie to respawn. They maybe just about have time for that. It's kind of close, but there's 40 seconds. This could well end 4-2 if ANTICIDE are able to convert as they did just about a minute ago. As they're grouping up in lobby, they're taking their buffs, and they might have one last hurrah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to try to do, sending the demo man in top right there. Sentry guns down straight away, and the collapse is coming in here. Heavy is out on spawn. There's a bit of early cap time, but the health is looking pretty dire from the ANTICIDE side, but they are able to kind of just chill for a second. It's Blank on point, gets a second round with like 5 players up as well, just sneaks it past them, bringing it to 4-2.
It's a bit of a weird one, right? Because this is 4-2, obviously. But like it was 4-0 with what, like 3-4 minutes to play. ANTICIDE have just sort of kicked into gear in these last couple of moments when maybe MANDEM switched off slightly. But like, do we think it like matters for confidence a bit here for ANTICIDE?
I mean, I like to yap on about confidence. I think it really matters here, and I think just taking those last couple rounds just make you feel a little bit better. Say, guys, look, we took 2 rounds off of them. We started playing better. If we play like that tomorrow, you know, come those, you know, those playoff stages, we can take them, no problem. And MANDEM are probably looking to get that first or second slot. They're definitely the biggest contenders that I think we've been seeing. So I think ANTICIDE, they've had the unfortunate downgrades, but I think this gives them a little bit of confidence that maybe they can sneak a couple of maps that maybe they were not supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we're saying downgrades, I guess, and obviously missing Pandemic is huge, right? But like Charlie's going to get better as the event goes on. Charlie was really good. Let this be known, right? And I know coming back from a bit of rust, right? Over these days, like that rust is going to be chiseled away slightly, and we might be seeing more of the true soldier we all know and love from way back when. But yeah, ANTICIDE, honestly, like good showing at the end. But I think MANDEM, they were in control for so long that game. The last pushes were absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference about like Sunshine, right? We saw earlier on today, literally, like we both casted the Venom Crest Big Bloodline. Think about how different their last pushes were to this game that we've just saw, right? MANDEM just did not put a foot wrong, and that makes a huge deal of difference when you get limited chances. I'm not like Sunshine as well. It's not easy to get Ubered into last. You've got to make them count.
Yeah. And they just look super solid overall. And one thing that really stood out to me was that really good play they had where they had the one soldier pick where ANTICIDE stacked into second, and they just came in from every single door, loads through choke, loads through Valley, and just kind of caught them off guard when they were, a little worse on health than maybe they wanted to be, and they just played it super well overall on that MANDEM side. Had a decent showing, obviously a little bit sluggish towards the end. What do you think maybe caused that?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of hard, right, to maybe be fully locked in, 4-0 up, 5 minutes left. Maybe these things sort of do happen. But yeah, it's one of those, like, again, they've done the deal by then. It's just a case of can they get back into their their full focus, fully serious grind mode when their next game comes up, right? And I'm not sure if they're playing straight away afterwards. I've not fully clued myself up on who's got bye rounds where. But that's the thing for MANDEM, right? Is they showed how good they were.
It's at least one more game tonight, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got, so yeah, they want to be locked in, making sure they get the most out of all of these games coming up here.
Yeah, well, we can yap on for as long as we want, because I've got the nod that we might be going over to a desk. So shall we take it away, Turbo Taz? We can waffle as long as we want. So over to you, Turbo.
Welcome back to the analyst couch. I've got Condawg. I've got Domaytoe here as well. Sorry, I just looked at the side there. I was hoping that your name would jot off more to the left. Anyway, either way, anywho, guys, that was MANDEM versus ANTICIDE. I don't really know what to think of it. What do you think of it, Condawg? Leaving it open for you.
Turbo, I think Ron's is the best soldier in Europe right now. He is dropping numbers on this game. He's really showing ANTICIDE that, they came fourth in the season, but they don't really deserve to be on the server.
All right, okay. If you're going to say the drop in numbers, why don't if we could drop some numbers maybe onto the screen, and then we could have a look. We'll mince through the numbers ourselves. We'll let production panic for half a second. While they're panicking, Domaytoe, is those 2 rounds that they had over on ANTICIDE mean anything for them? Is that like a good sign?
Pity rounds to come back. I mean, I was looking over Baldur's shoulder, for example. This guy was playing TF2 on easy level. Honestly, he was plowing through literally everything. It's on the level, like, they can be thankful. The opposing team can be thankful to be on the same server as MANDEM, as we have the scoreboard now, rather the logs shown on the screen. And what can I say? What can you expect out of a scout, What sort of KD? Oh, 5.2. Yeah, that's completely normal.
Yeah, it's a very regimented game of Team Fortress 2. When you're watching this modern MANDEM, they seem to be playing very cool, calm, and collected. Boulder, he's got the iron will of any scout I've seen at a LAN event, Condawg. This man will not just ball out of control. He will wait, he'll be patient, and he will not die.
Yeah, but Turbo, the thing is, it's not a one-man team, This team is built upon foundation. It's a lot of teamwork. We were stood behind them, sort of taking it all in. And not only is Ron's the hype man of the team, Boulder, sure, he's cleaning up frags, but you need the damage man. That's what Ron's has been doing this entire LAN. I'm loving seeing it. He dropped 300. He top damaged on the server. He's just playing fantastic at the moment. And he keeps the team on his back, He's shouting. He's yelling. Everyone's getting on board. They're loving it. The vibes are up. It's just a total vibe team. They sort of play and they keep it fluid. Haunts, he's always popping out all over the place. And Zoe with a crucial drop onto Theos in, I think it was round 2 or 3, which, really sort of got the ball rolling. It was a little slow to start off, but we got there. 4 rounds and then, sure, a couple pity rounds, but they got the rounds on the board.
Domaytoe, you got something to say?
Yeah, I only want to say, as an opposition team, you sort of also allow this anti-side. I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but definitely severely underperforming this LAN so far. Obviously, I mean, the big elephant in the room was mentioned numerous times. Pandemic is not with them. You lose your sort of main anchor in that entire combo, in that entire team, and that is not boding well for you. And then it also, I mean, I've talked to some teams, like, what do you picture the top 4 teams to be at, you know? And in the beginning of the LAN, people would have said ANTICIDE, but I've barely even found anyone anymore who says, yeah, ANTICIDE is going at least to be top 4.
Condawg, is there any sort of adjustments you think they could make over on ANTICIDE, or is this just a core problem and we have to just, you know, maybe dead and bury the poor ANTICIDE?
I mean, the rumours are happening that Blank, he's going a little bit quiet, you know, on the comms. He's now on this pocket scout role. Pandemic, obviously, previously main calling. Blank's, he's just losing his voice a little bit. The game's starting to, you know, teeter down.
Day one.
Day one, you know, we're only group stages, and this is a good team. You know, it would be expected for them to lose to MANDEM, but you got to keep the vibes going. You know, they got Charlie who's come in. He needs to see that you're still together. You're still a team. That there is something to believe and fight for, and I hope he's going to pick it up a little bit, because it'd be sad to see ANTICIDE sort of, you know, fall down the rankings, then maybe have to fight Witness on the other side when it comes to bracket stages, and then instantly fall down to lower bracket. You know, we want to see them get far into the stages, you know?
I think that's a good, hopeful energy to leave our little couch on. So thank you for joining us on the Analyst Couch. We'll be back with round 5 shortly. Otherwise, don't go away too far. We'll have more content coming soon.